Hey everybody, welcome back to the Skada devlogs. If you're new around here, I'm your average modded Minecraft player who got fed up with boring equipment and decided to try and fix it, armed only with the knowledge of 3 tutorial videos and a grade 12 Java class. If you've seen any of my other videos, this one might be a bit of a departure from the norm. I wanted to try more of a vlog style video, so instead of my usual rundown of an entire new feature, I'm gonna take you guys through a week of my life working on the mod. So I set myself 3 goals for the week, which was a bit ambitious in hindsight. The first goal was to finish the journal or stat screen GUI. The second was to update the mod page on ModRank and CurseForge, and third was to do a once-over on the whole auto-generation and lethality system. I'd actually already kind of worked on the journal screen a bit, but it wasn't finished, so I've had it disabled. The current job was a bit patchy, with lots of hard-coded stuff and magic numbers, so first I went through and refactored things to be a bit cleaner under the hood. Looking at and figuring out what's going on in old code is always a massive struggle, so this took quite a while. Oh boy. What have I done? Even now this isn't a button. What? Why? After a few more hours though, things were looking good. We now are pretty set up to get going on this book system, so time to grab a little bit of lunch, maybe another coffee, and I'll see you guys in a bit. After lunch, I got started on designing some UI elements for the new journal screen. I drew up some very rough designs for a damage info page and a tutorial page, which I think are the 2 most essential parts for the book. In the future, I want to add a bestiary page where players can look at the stats of mobs they've killed. On the damage page, there'll be a scrollable list of elements on the left, with the player's total damage and resistance to that element on the button itself. Upon clicking on one of the element buttons, an info panel will appear on the right that displays all the modifiers that make up those totals and where they come from. On the info page, there's a list of scrollable buttons on the left for each new feature of the mod, and when clicked on, a text box appears on the right which contains information about the selected feature. By the end of day 1, I was pretty happy with my progress, and I was excited to get started on coding the damage page on the next day. So I started by just trying to add the total damage and resistance numbers to each button, which was a kind of painstaking process because I was using the normal run mode, which makes you restart the client every time you change something. So basically every time I wanted to move a little icon, even like 3 pixels to the left, I would have to restart the entire game, which eventually got annoying, and I ended up trying to fix the debug mode, which is the one that lets you keep the game open and change code and it updates in real time, and it wasn't working for some reason, which I had no idea why. I tried asking AI because as a kind of last resort option, and it had no idea either. So eventually I just resigned myself to just restarting it every time, which was super annoying. So yeah, Tuesday wasn't a super efficient work day, but by the end of the day I had at least the total damage and resistance showing with its sword and armor icon, so at least something got done today. So the next day I woke up and I really realized I didn't want to keep having to restart the client every time I wanted to change something, so I really locked in and tried to fix this whole debug thing. Googled around a lot, eventually ended up asking questions on the Neoforge Discord, but eventually I figured out that I just needed to delete this one line here. No idea what it does, but I deleted it and the debug thing started working, so seems good to me. After I fixed the debugging thing, progress started going a lot faster, so I started working on making the buttons in the damage page actually interactable. So we go here, you can open the book. These are clickable, they don't actually do anything yet, but honestly it doesn't look like I've done a lot, but I've been working on this for the past like 2.5 hours, so yeah, I took a little break to grab another coffee. For the next couple hours, I just worked on the button's functionality. So the panel that opens up when you click on a button that shows the information about that element. Nothing really interesting here, just a bunch of back-end stuff. So finished up the day with that, and then chilled a bit and played some games with the boys. I'm procrastinating to be here, and Charles is first timing the new ADC champ in the jungle. So I had thought on Thursday that I could just spend the whole day finishing up this book UI, and I would have Friday to get on with the rest of my tasks for the week. But it actually turned out on Thursday I spent almost the entire day trying to figure out why my elements weren't actually getting rendered on the screen. And it turns out it was a problem actually with how I was representing colors in hexadecimal integers. So normally when you represent a color as an integer, a hexadecimal integer, there are 8 digits in total, where the first 2 represent the alpha, or the opacity, the second 2 are the red, third 2 are the green, and the last 2 are the blue. Now, normally you can represent this as only 6 digits, where you omit the alpha, or the opacity, and it just assumes it's full opacity and you don't need to write it. Turns out, if you do that in Minecraft, it assumes you don't want any opacity and leaves it completely transparent. So my elements were technically getting rendered just with 0 opacity. So that's a bit frustrating. I spent the whole day for nothing, but I guess it had to get done eventually. If you're still here, thanks so much for watching the video, guys. As you've probably noticed, there are a lot of changes in audio and camera angles during the video, and I also tried to talk without a script. I had lots of fun experimenting with different things while making the video, and I hope it isn't too annoying. If you liked the video, it would be sick if you could leave a comment and let me know what you liked and didn't like about it. And subscribe if you don't mind. Thanks, guys. Alright, final results of the book. Pretty good. Scroll wheel here. If you click on this, you can see the damage you have here. Some modifiers, no armor info here, but you put something on, for example, like this. Let's see. This updates accordingly. Heat here. This is telling you where you get your resistance from. And yeah, so the info page here. Still need to update this a bit, but it looks roughly the same. Click on here, and this is placeholder text for now. But yeah, so here's the info screen, damage screen. Fortunately, only got 1 out of 3 tasks for the week accomplished, so that's unfortunate. But yeah, later, guys.